Hey, good evening. My name's Chris, and I'm going to relate my memories of the July 4, 1969 storm in Cleveland, Ohio. Today is May 8th, 2011. It's a little bit before midnight, May 8th, 2011, so happy Mother's Day. And I'm now living in Memphis, Tennessee, but I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. And on July 4, 1969, I was 4 years old, and we lived on a street called Harborview, which is about a mile west of Edgewater Park and 3 to 4 miles east of Lakewood Park on the north coast. Actually, our house was on the shore of Lake Erie, and that particular evening, my father, my sister Julia, and I were in the backyard watching the fireworks at Edgewater Park, and I was just sort of enjoying the great outdoors when the sky got very dark and some raindrops, very heavy raindrops, started falling. Actually, the type of raindrops that fall before a very severe storm. The sky got dark and the raindrops started to fall, and then my dad and my sister started to run toward the house. Dad said, "It's raining," and started running. And so I ran because they were running. Not because I was scared. I didn't know enough to be scared, but right as we got to the door of the house, we had a large plum tree in the backyard at that time, and the plum tree snapped off like a twig as the first gust front from the storm hit. And we got inside, and right after we got inside, the full force of the rain and the wind hit the house and knocked the power out. And we watched from inside the dining room as the just a tremendous amount of rain came down, and very, very heavy downpour and powerful winds. And the roof started to leak. And of course, the power was out. And I felt the fear of the people around me. We were all scared, and I thought the world was coming to an end. At that age, that's what it seemed like to me. I really was not sure whether we were going to make it through that or not, but it did pass. It seemed like an eternity, but it was no more than a few minutes that the worst part of the storm passed. And then after that, there was relief, but still a little bit of trauma from all of that. So now we're going to pan over to the map, and to your left, which would be to the west, we see Lakewood Park, which is about 4 miles, 3 to 4 miles west of Harborview Drive. This is Harborview Drive right here. This is where the house that I grew up in on the lake, we had just moved into it. That's where we were. And here's Edgewater Park, about a mile across the bay here, where they were blowing off the fireworks. They do that every year. And we were watching the storm. Basically came down the coast, and it looked like a wall of water. I remember just briefly seeing the wall of water, and not knowing, of course I didn't know about tornadoes or anything at that time, and to me it wasn't, that part didn't even seem scary until it hit. And just the ferocity of the wind, and that's one of the most indelible memories of my childhood. I don't, at that age, we might not have a lot of memories, but that memory sticks in my mind very much. I remember it like it was yesterday. And the next day, of course, we investigated the yard, and there were several large trees that had been uprooted by the wind. So I'd like to thank you for watching, and please post your responses, and I look forward to hearing any of your memories as well. Thank you very much. Happy Mother's Day.